Well, I did my last video on BetterHelp. It was a short, quick, in and out job, and I thought that it might be done. But, ill-advisedly, someone of some repute has decided to double down.
Sup, you beautiful bastards? Hope you're having a fantastic Monday.
Talk about shooting high. Here we go.
If you are here for your regularly scheduled Philip DeFranco show, I apologize so much. There are so many things happening both in this country and just the world in general that I want to talk about, that I think we need to talk about,
But you feel the need to do some damage control? But you feel your wallet getting lighter? But there might be some trust issues that cause massive amounts of subscribers to leave? Here very soon, as we get into this, I'm going to explain exactly why this but is your stupidest idea ever. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a subscriber. I don't regularly watch your channel. I've seen some videos, generally good quality, and I don't care what other stupid ideas you've done before. This is your stupidest idea.
But unfortunately, I've been on the receiving end of just ridiculous accusation after ridiculous accusation.
Just imagine how this conversation must have gone. I really feel like I need to do some damage control. Don't do it. But I really feel the need to do this so that I can get everyone back in a comfortable place. Okay then, if you insist, I guess. Well, what should I cover? Well, you can't cover too much because then you might give too much away. Okay, just pick something then. The terms of service. They said they were going to correct it, so just go with the terms of service. Okay, but what about all the other issues people are talking about? Just ignore them. They'll go away. Okay, but one final question. What if everything that people are saying is true? Well, I don't know what you can do then. Well, just give me something to go with. Run. Run like hell. That's about how I imagined the conversation going before he made this video.
Regarding BetterHelp, people saying I'm this mastermind scammer.
Well, that is true. People are calling you a scammer, and that might be a bit unfair, to be honest. But you're about to tell us how you are at least a mastermind in the whole process. I'm not going to interrupt you doing that. I'm just going to let you get there and do it for yourself.
I just need to address this bullshit before moving forward. I usually do not stop for every barking dog, but this has gotten to a situation that is just ridiculous.
Well, in my personal opinion, you're jumping the gun just a little bit. We're not quite too ridiculous yet.
Also, in addition to the people that regularly watch this show, the people that are coming to this video just to shout that I'm a scammer and I should go kill myself and all the lovely things I've received over the weekend. To you, all I ask of you is for you to put your hate in a little box for a second, listen to me talk, and then feel how you feel afterward.
So really all that's going on here is people are calling you a scammer, telling you to kill yourself, all because they hate. And so they should just pack their hate away someplace because they don't have any real issues here. There wasn't anybody within their counselors that might have been dangerous for people. There aren't issues with counselor-patient confidentiality at all. There's no reason to question a terms of service that up until just a few days ago didn't even guarantee that counselors would be competent. No, it's just you're a scammer and I hate you. You should just kill yourself. That's all that's going on here. Got it.
They will not be returning unless, one, they change those terms and conditions to a place that makes me feel overwhelmingly comfortable.
Also, how about we make a deal? I will feel what I feel when I feel it, and you won't tell me when I can feel something. Okay?
For some reason, depending on who is talking about this story, certain parts are excluded or glossed over or exaggerated or misconstrued.
I truly love watching a real professional work. I just feel the build up to your big reveal and how hard you've worked on getting to it. It's amazing.
And so with all that said, let's talk about BetterHelp. They're an online counseling service. I've used it. I've loved it.
In just a moment, you're going to tell us about how you disconnected yourself from the sponsorship deal that you had until you've done your little investigation. But I'd just like to point out at this point that there's no sponsorship going on at this moment at all. None. Don't look. It's not there.
I've made no secret whatsoever that they've sponsored my videos in the past.
Now, seriously ask yourself, do you believe that what people are complaining about is that you've hidden your personal sponsorship of BetterHelp in the past? Because I haven't heard that complaint anywhere. I said stop looking. There's no advertising going on here. He's not sponsoring them. But at least he's getting the point. He's put in his own red arrows for me. Thank you for that.
Also, an important part that has been excluded or glossed over by some telling this story, I immediately suspended my sponsorships with them moving forward.
Except for the part where you say, I've used it, I've loved it, and display your URL down at the bottom of the screen and continue to collect money from everyone else's sponsorship. Truly disconnecting from the company under its cloud of current suspicion until you can clear that cloud up. I believe you.
But essentially, the TLDR of the response is that BetterHelp has a team that is dedicated to rigorously vetting the counselors that use the service. And as far as the concerning words in their terms and conditions, they said that this was essentially legalese, legal language that was meant to limit legal liability. And also adding that they would modify it moving forward.
Well, that's my concerns out the door. Obviously, they're vetting their counselors. I gotta hand it to you. You're right. Why don't we get off that point? It's done. On the terms of service, well, yes, they did change their terms of service. They took out the clause that said that they could have actual incompetence being counselors for you. I mean, being incompetent generally isn't an issue when you're trying to handle other people's mental health. Right? I mean, what am I concerned about? That an incompetent, untrained, not specifically specialized in the field of expertise required for the individual patient. I mean, what is my concern? How could I possibly go on and on about the importance of matching the mental health issue with the mental health professional? I mean, you fill out the application and they assign you a counselor by random means. That's not a problem. No, we're okay. And you're right. We should all just shut the fuck up because you're right. We're all wrong. We're overreacting. Terrible, terrible scum we are to be concerned about these non-issues.
They will not be returning unless, one, they change those terms and conditions to a place that makes me feel overwhelmingly comfortable. And two, I go to their offices in person, speak with their team in person, see their policies and procedures in action.
And will we be getting to see the signed contracts, the multiple signed contracts that you would have with BetterHelp, so that we can be sure that you don't have a non-disclosure or non-defamation clause that would stand in the way of you telling us the truth about what you find at BetterHelp? Or should we just rely on your trustability to assure that what you're reporting to us is the 100% accurate truth about BetterHelp? As far as your personal sense of comfort goes in this matter, I'm not so sure that we should rely on that as a barometer of how good they're doing, considering that you were completely comfortable to take the sponsorship, to give the sponsorship to others, and to profit by it, up until the point where people went, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. And then suddenly you were all discomfortable. So I don't think we should really give that too much credence.
Also on top of this, a thing that has been excluded or glossed over by several of the people telling this story, I've involved a third-party journalist, and the goal is either for them to go with me to the BetterHelp offices or independently.
Because as you jump cut into your next statement, we know that the independent journalist couldn't possibly edit anything in or out or turn it into, another advertisement for BetterHelp. I can't see anything going wrong with that. I think everybody should be comforted by the fact that they're independent. In fact, as I think about it, there's no way I could possibly be more impressed if you took some other kind of professional person with you. Say, I don't know, a professional psychologist, professional clinician. They couldn't possibly outdo a professional, or even amateur for that matter, independent journalist. I think you're totally right going the way you're going.
And the reason this was such an important part for me is I am aware that if I was on the outside looking in on this situation, I would question my objectivity.
Talk about foreshadowing. Am I right?
I've seen accusations ranging from Philip DeFranco actually runs BetterHelp, or he owns part of it, or he's invested in it, or he's the mastermind behind everything.
Invested in it. Well, I wonder what that might be defined as. I wonder if Mr. DeFranco here is going to get to his big reveal.
No, none of that is true.
Oh, I didn't realize you were going to use denial. Well, hell, he's innocent, people. Pack it up, go home. The video's over. No, I mean, the video's over. We're done. You can go now. Watch some kitty cats. Someplace, maybe you need to learn how to put on some lipstick. Do something entertaining for a moment. We're done here.
As I mentioned last week, and this has been used as a gotcha moment, here I'll play it. BetterHelp has been a sponsor of our videos. We've even partnered with them at a company level to help them with other sponsorships with other YouTubers. And so that clip has been misconstrued as, oh, that's the smoking gun. That is the evidence that Philip DeFranco, he is invested, he is part of it, he is the mastermind.
What are you doing, Philip? I left, and my viewers were going, and then you proved yourself wrong. I'm confused. I gotta have a minute to think about this now.
No.
Oh, somebody help me! My brain is on fire. He denied it, and then he proved it, and then he denied it again. I don't know what to think anymore.
And I'll explain this situation a little deeper.
And away we go. Oh, and by the way, don't look at the screen where there might be illustrations that show the actual in-depth, in-detail connections that he's talking about as he speaks.
So at the beginning of this, I had my original sponsorship with BetterHelp, and it was just a win on all fronts for us. It was a sponsor that I personally used, thus a sponsor I personally trusted. It also brought in, of course, it's a sponsor, it brought in money, and unlike pretty much any sponsorship before, after I would do those spots, I would actually get messages from people thanking me for doing the spot.
I didn't cut out several minutes of potential advertising, citing to such great sources as the Better Business Bureau and Google search results, et cetera, and how it's helped everybody, and how anybody who says it doesn't help is an idiot, even if they were rejected or had a bad experience. Because get it through your head, he's not sponsoring them anymore. No more sponsorship means no more good advertisement for them. Just realize the truth and get on with your life. Now, we'll go on with his explanation.
The main point through our experience, it was a good product and sponsor with a good purpose, and it was well received. And so following this success, the positive reaction, I negotiated a deal with BetterHelp to make it so that I could also connect them with other YouTubers like an ad agency would. We connect some content creators, we set them up, we handle their daily numbers, we make sure they get paid. If they have any questions or need any help, we can be there for them. And then on the other end, BetterHelp, if they have any questions regarding, do you think this person would be good or something along those lines, we can advise. And for all of this, like an ad agency would, we take a percentage of the sponsorship. As far as why we would want to operate as kind of a small third-party ad agency is that's been a small goal of our company.
Well, wasn't that a refreshing bit of honesty? But now that we've gotten the honesty, or at least this much, there's some issues. In fact, there are now more issues than there were before. Hold on, let me show you. Not only did you violate the barter clauses of the American Psychological Association's Code of Conduct by receiving service for service, but you also received service, as well as additional financial incentives to promote the service. On top of that, the additional relationships were not communicated prior or during the time of the advertisement, violations of the Federal Trade Commission's rules. Furthermore, looking at the terms and conditions, as well as that little part that you left out, the privacy policy, there are within that violations. Furthermore, as if more would be needed, those terms and conditions call for the client to do their own due diligence. These would-be clients would also be persons with mental disabilities. Disabilities which would include intellectual disability, cognitive disability, language disabilities, disabilities in areas of personal responsibility. The list goes on. These potential clients are not your run-of-the-mill people who will come up to the terms and conditions, check them off without reading them, and never care again about them. These potential clients couldn't read the terms and conditions even if they wanted to. Some of them can't even legally consent to a contract because they're incapable. There's no provision anywhere in the terms and conditions that accommodations will be given to those who need them. A clear violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Really, I'm just going to stop right there. The violations, I haven't even covered them all. But I'm just going to stop right there because there's just too many of them. Whew. Okay, I'm calmer now. So we'll get to why it was so bad. That this may be, in fact, the stupidest thing you ever did. To do that, I'm going to go to your comment section where I had a small thread with some fellow viewers. And I'm going to read portions of that thread because I put it so well, first of all. And second of all, I was absolutely right. And when I'm done reading it, and should you be watching this video, you think about it, you'll realize I'm right. MegaDudeMan21 says, so he shouldn't have responded at all then? Darth Vader Reviews says, you must own a tinfoil factory or something with how big your hat is. The idea that someone mired in a controversy would respond to a controversy is somehow so unbelievable to you that you seriously think that the response is also part of a conspiracy. I don't know if BetterHelp is a scam or not, but you sure as hell need some help. My response to Megadude? No, he shouldn't have, for two reasons. His response did nothing to fix the situation, or to clarify the situation to himself. It only muddied the waters, and potentially implicated him in other wrongdoings, while he is still clearly sponsoring the product through controversy. His response only worsens his position when trying to convince anyone but his most loyal fans of his ignorance if the shit hits the fan, because of previously noted additional potential implications. What he should have done was sit on it, go back to business as usual, and done what was required in the first place, his due diligence as a sponsor and an advertising agent. Then presented with his findings in the most transparent way possible, disclosed his undisclosed connections, make any retractions necessary, and ride out any backlash. What he has done is heap on more suspicion due to his now disclosed, previously undisclosed connections, and given people like me reasons to respond with our own examinations and questions, which will not help him, whether he is right or wrong, in the long run. Darth Vader Reviews responded, if he did what you suggested, he would still arguably be sponsoring the product through the controversy. There isn't really a way he can make this video without promoting BetterHelp as a byproduct. It's also worth noting that while, yes, controversy sells, legal controversy just gets suits. Typical controversies like the ones that are political in nature absolutely sell, but legal controversies don't accomplish the same thing. You will not attract any customers by publishing allegations that your company's service is a scam. If he did sit on it, people would be claiming he's ignoring it in the hopes the controversy dies down, which makes him even more suspicious. Respond or not respond. DeFranco is in a lose-lose situation regardless of which he did, but responding is the more transparent option out of the two by far. What do you think he's doing right now, if not his due diligence? He's arranging a meeting to go to BetterHelp physically. What more are you expecting out of him exactly? How did he not clarify things? We now know what he meant when he said worked with BetterHelp at a company level. We now know what that relationship was. How exactly has that muddied the waters? If he hid that away, and it was revealed by a company like BetterHelp instead, that'd be a cause for far more suspicion. And to conclude the conversation, I responded in this way. First of all, I never said it was a scam. It isn't, but it is absolutely inappropriate to suggest that it is help for psychological problems. I also never called it a conspiracy. Take off your tinfoil hat. It isn't a conspiracy because there are no hidden actors. Thirdly, this isn't a legal controversy. Where are the lawyers? Where are the courts? Nowhere. This is a YouTube controversy, which would have no effect on BetterHelp's ability to sell their product. And controversy sells, as I have said, and you have agreed. You will get customers by publicly fighting a controversy. Hardly. If he sat on it, people would either engage their short-term attention spans or assume he was preparing to investigate. They would not be asking themselves why his story has changed yet again, or trying to find meaning in his every word. You suggest a false dichotomy. He is not in a lose-lose situation. He is in an okay, if vindicated, bad if he would have done the better thing, worse if it is found out to be as bad as it seems or worse situation. He has all but thrown okay out the window, and bad isn't looking too healthy, since he now has revealed more information, because he didn't just sit on it. Doing due diligence now is not doing due diligence. It's damage control. Due diligence is what you do before you commit yourself to a thing that might later require damage control. In fact, it is the thing to do when you wish to avoid damage control. Position A, I am a sponsor. Position B, I am a sponsor who also works to bring in other sponsors. Position C, I am a sponsor who also works to bring in other sponsors so that I can expand my company into an advertising agency. Position A is where we were. Then we swept right past position B, straight on into position C. How does that clarify things? What else haven't we been told? Is there anything else we haven't been told? Seems pretty muddy to me. He did hide that away. Do you think it matters who does the reveal? Sponsor doesn't equal sponsor who actively works to bring in more sponsors. Doesn't equal I actively contract to handle sponsorships. And it doesn't matter who reveals that it's more than just a sponsorship. Which sounds better? I do sponsorship, but it's bigger than that. I handle other sponsorships. But it's still a good company, even though I still have to conduct an investigation into the company to determine if they are actually a good company. Really, they are a good company. They helped me. They can help you. Or, I just got back from my investigation. Turns out I was wrong. They are very shady. The truth is, I was doing this, and this for them. But now I have to apologize and hope that we can go on, having learned from this mistake. Because now, if he has to do the second, he will already have done the first, which will only prove to everyone already on high alert that there are no accidents here, because he has already confessed to the involvement, making him seem culpable. His continued statement to their goodness will be perceived as a lie, and his apology will seem completely disingenuous. This video was not sponsored by BetterHelp. I have autism, and as a result I often feel depressed and anxious because I have these feelings of logic well up within me. I just don't know what to do about it. It makes me very sad. I almost feel helpless. BetterHelp couldn't help me, and they probably can't help you.